Well, for more on this story, we're now joined by SABC foreign editor Sophie Mokoena. Sophie, thanks for giving us a moment to chat about this historic visit, because it's 21 years since his last visit, and I guess the question might be, why now? You'd recall that previously, during particularly Thabo Mbeki's era, there were problems in Zimbabwe, political and economical. There were engagements between the two countries, but they revolve around trying to find peace and also to bring stability in that country. Therefore, there was no time for state visits. You would recall that President Mbeki was a mediator in the crisis in Zimbabwe, so most of the time engagement revolved around those issues. But President Mugabe did visit South Africa many times. You would recall during the launch of the AU, the World Summit on Sustainable Development, you know, lots of SADC meetings taking place in South Africa. He has been in and out of South Africa. During former President Mandela's funeral, he was in the country. Now recently, the problems in Lesotho, engagement with President Zuma, who is also seized with the responsibility to assist Lesotho to reach a solution in terms of finding peace. So there has been engagements, but all of this were informal, sometimes formal, sometimes working visit and conferences.
So what's the official line in terms of what this visit is about?
To strengthen political ties, but also economic ties. It's time for South Africa and Zimbabwe to talk about such issues, the two countries, the relations between the two countries. But because President Robert Mugabe is also the chair of the African Union, they will touch on issues that pertaining to African Union, issues of stability in the continent, the developmental programs, the issue of ensuring that there's an integration in the SADC region. You are aware that President Mugabe, when he took the responsibility to chair SADC, his main objective was to ensure that the regional integration becomes a reality, but also to ensure that industrialization do take place in this region. Therefore, I think the economic issues will also feature high on the agenda.
Well, talking about SADC industrialization, some people are saying that, look, Zimbabwe can't afford to hold this summit at the end of April. Has he come looking for money?
You can't rule that out. And South Africa, in most cases, is always willing to assist when member countries are facing problems. I won't be surprised if he asked for assistance and President Jacob Zuma agreed to assist, because at the end of the day, it's a SADC meeting, issues that also affect us as a country, and also issues of trying to strengthen the relation, but also to strengthen the region itself. Remember, when it was established, SADC, the aim was to ensure that these countries, they really strengthen the relations, particularly on economic front. Therefore, it is to our benefit and the rest of member countries to have this meeting so that they can discuss issues that are a challenge to the region, like poverty, unemployment.
All right, so there's a few things that are going to be happening over the 2 days. We believe a memorandum of understanding is going to be signed. SA Zimbabwe Business Forum is going to be taking place. So I'm wondering, South African businesses, what concerns would they be presenting? Do we have any idea during this visit?
I'm not so sure, but I can think of issues such as people raising concern about economic policy of Zimbabwe. You know, the indigenization policy. Those are the issues that are likely to come up during the meeting with the business community. And I am hoping that Zimbabwe will be able to explain these issues, and South African business people will not shy away from asking hard questions, so that when they invest in that country, they know exactly the environment and the climate, and also to ensure that whatever they do in Zimbabwe, it's something that they understand and they don't regret thereafter. Or Zimbabwe itself, to explain itself. When people come and invest in our country, this is what we are looking for, and it is for these reasons. Therefore, the transformation in the economic sector that they are talking about, it must be clear so that investors know exactly when they invest in that country, what's likely to happen to their investment.
Very briefly, is there a warming of relations? Because it hasn't always been the best between Zimbabwe and South Africa.
I don't think it wasn't the best. I tend to disagree. The relations between these two countries, particularly the governing party, the ANC, dates back pre-1994. For an example, you have the Vice President, Mpoko, who had good relations with the African National Congress, and he was an ambassador in South Africa. But the problem is sometimes as a media, because we tend to not check or do proper research, we tend to speculate. I don't think the relations have been that bad. It's just that at times, yes, there were hard exchange to ensure that things are done properly by two countries. And when you are a mediator, obvious, in public, you will apply the diplomatic approach,
conversations,
but behind the
cordial relations.
Yes.
Okay, all right. We're going to have to leave it there, unfortunately. Sophie Mokoena, our foreign editor, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thanks, Peter.
All right.